Hi everybody, this is Mike with Inflatable Boarder, and today I've got a little bit of an interesting topic that kind of came about with a conversation I was having with something online about the strength of the drop stitch fibers that are used in inflatable paddleboards. Now, if you're not familiar, inflatable paddleboards inside have 2 layers of fabric, and then in between are thousands of fibers that are stitched to kind of hold those layers together, but also prevent them from ballooning out and stay flat rather than turning into a ball. And the conversation was about, well, if you overpressurize a board, it's going to stress the fibers, and eventually the fibers are going to fail. This didn't really make any sense to me because these fibers are actually really strong. And from what I have researched before and talked with manufacturers and brands about, is that these polyester fibers are insanely strong. And if you were to go look at the tensile strength of polyester, now this is just as the pure material, not necessarily these fibers, but it's 8,000 PSI, between 4 and 8,000 PSI before it breaks. We're not approaching anywhere around that range. This has not been done already. I'm gonna be doing all of this live, if you will, right here on the camera, and we're gonna kind of see what happens. So what I've done is I've taken an old paddleboard that was retired, and I've cut out a couple sections of it. Let me get those real quick. This section here, I randomly cut from the board, but I did cut it at 1 square inch. Okay, so this is 1 inch by 1 inch. Kept all the fibers there and connected them to the other side here. It's a little bit bigger because these fibers are connected at angles rather than straight down. Same thing over here, 1 square inch, but rather than randomly cutting it from the board, I looked at the inside first and selected an optimized section that would give me the most fibers per board. So on this optimized one, I was getting 8 stitches, so there's 16 strands, but 8 stitches here. And on the random one, there are 6 stitches, so 12 strands. So we'll see what happens. At 15 PSI, this is 1 square inch, 15 pounds per square inch. There'd be 15 pounds of force actively pushing out this way, okay? Now, it's not the exact same as having air in here, but it's very, very close. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pull my ladder over and we're gonna hook it up and we're gonna put some weights on there. My prediction is that these will break. I will break this contraption today. However, it will not break at 15 PSI. That's my prediction. Haven't tested it yet, we're gonna find out. Okay, 3 5-pound weights. Okay, and I was worried that would happen, but I have another idea on how to test this. I was trying to do this so it would provide even pressure across everything. It's not gonna happen. So instead what I'm gonna do is use the carabiner and try to go through right in the middle of all of these fibers and see if that will hold it better. Okay, okay, so there's 15 pounds. This is with the randomized 1 square inch segment. So there's only 6 stitches, 12 total fibers. I did kind of hear it making some noise. I don't know if that was the epoxy on there crackling or if it was fibers breaking, but that was 15. I'm gonna go to 20, see what happens there. Okay, now we got a 20-pound kettlebell. Let's see how this goes. And making sure I'm not setting it on any one fiber, trying to use the fabric rather than an individual fiber to hold it. So there's 20 pounds. Still looking pretty good. Here we go. One more time, 35 pounds. Let's see if this will hold. Oh, there it goes. All right. So with this randomized piece of 1 square inch of the board, with the weight going directly into here, again, resting against the fibers, this is not a realistic, this is way more stressful than having the actual board inflated with air. It did break. It did not break all the fibers. It broke just enough fibers for the weight to fall out. So it broke one side, the side it was leaning against. Let's get the other one out. It's got a few more fibers in it, and let's see how that one does. So now we do the optimized 1 square inch. It has 8 stitches. So there's 3 on each side and 2 in the middle. We're just gonna start at 35 and see if that breaks it. I don't think it's going to. Again, I think we might see the rig fail, but the stitching itself should be fine. So let's start with that, see how it goes. All right, we've got a little bit of breakage right on this outside from up top. It broke up top and came down. Up there, the fibers are kind of wrapped around the carabiners a little bit more, so they're not quite as straight, so that's always gonna weaken it. It seems to be holding okay for the most part. That one, it looks like we only lost the one corner here. So I'm gonna try and leave this and just add some more weight on. So I'm gonna start with just an extra 5 pounds. So this is a 35-pound kettlebell. I'm gonna put 5 more pounds on, see if we can get to 40. Okay, so here comes another 5-pound weight. I'm gonna try to add this as gently as possible so that the shock of it doesn't impact anything. I made the prediction that I would probably break my rig. I did. I made the prediction that we would maybe break these, but it would take more than 15 PSI or 15 pounds. That was also the case. So where we actually saw the breakage was in the 35 plus, 35 to 40 pounds. And again, the test here is very different from how your board experiences pressure. So you're not gonna be putting the same amount of physical, mechanical strain and wear and friction and all sorts of other things on these fibers. This stuff, quite strong. It is not something that you will ever have to worry about breaking in your board. The drop stitching in paddle boards doesn't fail. It's not really a failure point at all. When you see a board that may have ballooned into shape, that is actually a delamination of the PVC material from the fabric. That is not the drop stitch failing. Drop stitching, super strong stuff. It's not going anywhere. If you overpressurize your board by a few PSI, not a big deal. Don't worry about it. Just drop your pressure back down and keep that in mind for the next time. All right, thanks for coming along this journey with me. Like I said, I just decided to do this and record it as I went. So sorry for the rambling video that's not very well done, but we'll hope to see you soon and happy paddling.